Acting like this, we can tell ourselves.
It's not here. Y bienvenidos, bienvenidas a todos. ¿Cómo están? Hoy vamos a practicar muchísimo el pasado. Today we're going to practice that past tense a lot. Aquí viene Tomás. Here comes Tomás. We will practice that a lot, but you know, it's going to be very, very easy going kind of stuff. I'll take any questions that occurred to me that I need to leave a lot of time for questions for you guys here. So if you have absolutely no questions, it's like, well, then I'm going to have some time to fill. But we're going to start with something totally unrelated to gramática. Es un video de una persona una colombiana, ustedes la van a reconocer. You're going to recognize her. You've seen some of her videos before. But she's got some kind of fun ways of expressing que no sabes, that you don't know. So that's fun. Then we'll take any questions that you have before we start in on the practice. And okay, ¿dónde está mi botón de share? Gotta get my share button up and running. Aquí vamos. Here we go. This is more a vocabulary driven kind of thing. I think I am going to put captions on unless it gets in the way of her captions with the video. Okay, vamos a ver.
Expresiones, ¿cómo así?
O sea, no hay sonido.
Ya vengo.
No sound. No ayuda. That didn't help. Un momentito.
Sound.
Una vez más. Una vez más. Yo sé por qué. I know why it's not doing this. Because I have Zoom competing with another screen. Es gran problema. That is a big problem. Okay, allow me to fix my technical glitch momentarily here. Once you get multiple screens, it becomes extremely finicky for which screen it will prompt off of. Espero que funciona. I hope this works. If it doesn't, I need to figure out, quizás no, maybe not. I need to move my other Zoom screen over as well. Aren't you guys glad you don't have to do all this stuff? Okay.
Yes.
A ver. Y ahorita, now. Ahora debe funcionar. Now it should work. Bien. Vale.
Expresiones, ¿cómo así?
No.
O sea, ya vengo.
Todavía no. No pueden oír. You guys can't hear her, can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can?
Yeah.
Sí,
Yo no, I cannot. I'll let it roll. Okay. Okay. A ver. Uy. Tengo dudas. I have such doubts. You could hear her.
Yes.
Right?
Poquito.
A little bit. I might need to make the sound a little bit bigger. Wow. Wow. You know, and I had issues with my morning Zoom meeting as well. So Lord only knows what's going on. Momentito. Eso no, that's all correct. Okay, vamos, let's see.
¿Las conoces? Si
Okay.
no las
¿Sí?
conoces, entonces tienes que ver este video porque te voy a enseñar 10 expresiones para sonar como un nativo. Vamos a verlas. Pon mucha atención porque estas frases van a hacer que tú suenes más natural y espero que las puedas usar en tus conversaciones de la vida diaria. Así que, la número 1. ¿Cómo se dice en español? What do you mean? Cuando en inglés tú le dices a alguien, what do you mean? Como esa persona dice algo y tú estás confundido o sorprendido. ¿Cómo dices eso? Pues se dice, ¿cómo así? ¿Cómo así? O también puedes decir, ¿qué quieres decir? Pero suena más natural decir, ¿cómo así? Oye, Andrea, ya no quiero estudiar español más, ya me cansé. ¿Qué? ¿Cómo así? La siguiente expresión es o sea, que significa I mean. Si tú me dices, Andrea, ya no quiero estudiar español, yo contesto, ¿cómo así? ¿Por qué? Y tú vas a decir, pues no me siento cómodo. O sea, aprendo algo y lo olvido al siguiente día. Así que estás diciendo, o sea, para decir I mean o in other words. La expresión número 3 también es muy útil. ¿Cómo se dice it wasn't on purpose? Se dice fue sin culpa o no fue a propósito. Si tú rompes algo por accidente o dañas algo de alguien, te vas a disculpar, vas a decir, oye, lo siento, fue sin culpa, lo siento, no fue a propósito. Pero es más natural y más común decir, fue sin culpa. La número 4, también para disculparse. Si tú le dices algo a alguien y esa persona se ofende, tú le vas a decir, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. ¿Cómo se dice eso en español? Pues en Colombia nosotros decimos, no quise ofenderte. No quise ofenderte. O no fue mi intención ofenderte. Pero la más natural y que más usamos es no quise ofenderte. Así que la próxima vez que tú digas algo por equivocación, dile a la persona, oye, lo siento, no quise ofenderte. La expresión que sigue es para responder a esa disculpa. Si alguien te pide disculpas, tú dices, don't worry, it's okay. O no worries, it's okay. En Colombia nosotros decimos, tranquilo, está bien. Si es un hombre el que se disculpó, le decimos, tranquilo, está bien. Si es una mujer, tranquila, está bien. O también podemos decir, no te preocupes, está bien. Pero antes de seguir, te quiero recordar que hay un PDF con todas estas expresiones. El link está por aquí arriba o también en la descripción del video lo puedes descargar. Número 6. ¿Cómo dices I can get by? Y esto es algo que es importante saber cuando estás aprendiendo otro idioma. Si yo te pregunto, oye, ¿hablas alemán? Tú dices, no mucho, solo un poquito, pero me defiendo. ¿Sí? Just a little bit, but I can get by. Pero me defiendo. Así que esto se utiliza hablando de idiomas. Yo no hablo portugués muy bien, pero me defiendo. Pero también con otras habilidades, como yo no soy muy buena en la cocina, pero me defiendo. Me defiendo significa yo puedo hacer lo básico, ¿sí? Sé hacer lo básico de algo. Ahora, pensemos en la expresión que utilizamos cuando estamos sentados en una mesa con amigos y, por ejemplo, tenemos que ir al baño. Tú estás sentado con un grupo y te vas a ir y dices, I'll be right back. En inglés dicen, I'll be right back. Bueno, nosotros en Colombia decimos, ya vengo, ya vengo. Pero por supuesto tú podrías decir, ya regreso o ya vuelvo. O también, vuelvo en un momento o ahorita vengo. Hay muchas formas de decirlo, pero recuerda, ya vengo y vas a estar bien. Otra frase que es muy común es, si tú estás en el segundo piso y alguien te llama al teléfono y están en el primer piso, Andrea, baja, te llama Nate. Yo voy a empezar a bajar y voy a decir, ya voy, ya voy. O si tus amigos están esperándote en la puerta, Andrea, apúrate. Yo digo, ya voy, como I'm coming, I'm coming. Eso es, ya voy. La número 9, muy importante, cuando tú dices, I found out that bla, bla, bla. Por ejemplo, I found out that Anna is pregnant. ¿Cómo dices eso de I found out? Se dice, me enteré de que. Así lo decimos en Colombia. No sé en los otros países. Enfatizo esto porque a veces me preguntan, ¿pero por qué si en México dicen esto o en España dicen esto? Esto decimos en Colombia. Me enteré de que. Pero estoy segura que si tú dices eso en otros países, igual te van a entender. Oye, me enteré de que Ana está embarazada. También podrías decir, alguien me dijo que Ana está embarazada. O me dijeron que. O también podrías decir como I heard that. Escuché que Ana. Pero I found out es me enteré de que. Y algo muy interesante, que esta es nuestra última frase, ¿cómo se dice I need to find out? Or I am going to find out? Or I have to find out. Ya no se utiliza el verbo enterarse, ahora se utiliza el verbo averiguar. Entonces, I need to find out es necesito averiguar. Oye, Andrea, ¿ya buscaste en la internet sobre el costo de los vuelos para ir a Colombia? No, Nate, aún no. I need to find out. Necesito averiguar. O debo averiguar. O tengo que averiguar. Bueno, queridos, eso ha sido todo por el video de hoy. Espero que hayan aprendido muchísimo. Déjame tu comentario diciendo.
Okay. Y eso es. That is it for that. Son frases útiles. Those are pretty useful phrases, yeah? There, a lot of them are. The one that doesn't sound quite right, though, is, you know, if you say, I'm coming, it's ya voy. You know, somebody yells, they want you to come down, they want you to come over, they want you to come into the next room, come up from the basement. Well, we don't have basements here, so you know how that is. And that whole thing of I'm coming is really ya voy. I know. But that's the way it's expressed. So very fun. The other really super useful one that you hear all the time all over is that o sea. The second one she did, o sea. O sea, o sea would be like, I mean. Hey, I mean, oh, you know, I mean, o sea. So some super helpful things. And you'll notice some of those were in present, some of them were in past. She flipped back and forth because, you know, well, that's what people do. Okay. Oop, momentito. Gotta get my view back here. Okay. A ver,
Marilyn, is that
other stuff off?
Marilyn, is that a link?
Where did it go?
Activate?
I am really super challenged with my controls tonight. Porque no lo sé. I do not know why. Okay, aquí viene. Here y'all come back. Bueno, entonces, antes de empezar, before beginning, ¿tienen preguntas? Do you guys have any questions about anything in particular that you heard?
That last video, the last video that you showed,
nothing
is that
in particular? Okay.
Are we on mute?
Oh,
No,
perdón. Oh, and I cannot hear you. Momentito.
Yeah.
Wow, I got something really screwed with my sound. I don't know what is going on here.
We can hear you, but obviously you can't hear us.
Déjame ver, let me see. What do I have that's going on wrong? That's probably why I couldn't hear the
Eric, why don't you just take
other
over
audio.
and teach the rest of the class? I mean,
Mhm.
Keith, why don't you just teach the rest
Es
of the
gran
class?
problema.
We'll follow
Okay. Can somebody say something?
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Yes, you can, but I can't hear you. Oh, great. Hey, kids, tech help. I got my sound going off here. Something isn't right. Momentito.
Who knows sign
We got a
language?
moment here for tech help. Okay,
What caused this to
I
happen?
cannot, well, I have no idea.
When did it happen?
It happened when I tried to put the video on. So of
And you-
course,
and
yes,
you
I
can no
did.
longer hear them.
I can no longer hear them.
Your headphones.
You
are
guys can
playing.
hear me.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
That's
See,
Always ask somebody under 30. Ooh, what's that?
All right, where's your mute button?
Where's
My
your
mute button is go over here.
No, your other mute button.
Don't know.
Mm,
It's beyond real tech,
Marilyn, save me.
not in video. Uh-oh.
Do you hear them now?
Can somebody say something?
Hello.
Hola.
Somebody, oh, they're speaking. Nope,
Okay.
can't
1,
hear.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4,
Hmm.
3, 2, 1.
He's pondering
Oh,
this.
Testing.
Is that thing good?
Okay, Keith, you don't get to, you don't
What a
get to.
good question. I don't
That's
know.
how you can do it.
Okay, that is
I wonder if I can hear him if I take the,
oh, that's a microphone cut off. Okay. How does, so the
Oh,
issue is
That thing
your
there.
speakers are muted. So how do you unmute your speakers?
question.
Okay.
No sé.
Insert boot.
Where's your video at?
Where's what?
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Why don't we look for mute button down here?
Yeah, Marilyn, how do I unplug Jan's speakers?
Be kind, be kind. We have a year more together, buddy.
you realize this is being recorded and she can watch the
See?
recording.
Oh,
later.
that's right. That's right. I have to watch what I say. I could incriminate
Qué
myself.
desastre.
That's right.
Really?
Don't forget that my acting the shower scene out for Psycho.
Okay,
Okay, so those are not. Okay, I'm gonna do something dangerous real quick.
We're gonna do something dangerous. Oh, I can hear him now.
You can hear?
Okay,
Can
we're
you
gonna
hear
do something else dangerous.
We're gonna do something else dangerous, he says.
Okay, can you still hear him?
Yes, I can hear them.
Okay, I fixed it.
Do you know what you did?
Yeah, I changed your audio input on and off again, but to unmute it. Just because it's gotta start from unmuted.
Okay.
Basically, okay.
Turn it off and turn it on.
Turn it off and turn it on, Keith said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, in case this happens in the future.
Yes.
Crap, where did the pointer go?
That.
So I went to that because that had a little X over it,
Yes.
and that was the issue.
Yes.
So what I did to fix it was I clicked on this thing, and then I clicked on that, and then I clicked back to that.
Okay. Right.
Oh,
And now we need to get rid of her.
oops. Sorry.
Just stop it. Yeah, there we go. That's good. That's good. Okay.
There you are. Back to normal.
Gracias.
All right, hello. Thank you.
Eso sé. Es eso sé. Okay. Gracias, Jose. I baked for him yesterday, so yes. Desperate tech help is one of the services rendered. Okay. A ver. Bueno, ok. Lo que vamos a hacer, y lo siento mucho. Ok. Vamos a ver. I do want to.
So, question, Marilyn, just
Sí,
for a
dime.
second. Like, I find like when you play the video, I get warmed up about 2/3 of the way through, and my brain goes, oh, this is Spanish. Oh, okay, I'm starting to put the words together. Oh, okay, right. And about at the end of it is about when I can finally follow a sentence and understand what it's about. So
That would be pretty normal. I seriously.
wow. Well, are you going to send that link again? Because, and I'm not.
I absolutely will. Absolutely
because
will.
if I played it, and I'm not trying to be smart here, if I played it 5 or 6 times, finally I could kind of follow it at the beginning, you know?
That
Slow
is
down,
very
maybe.
normal. Actually, don't think I ever said to this. There was a very good video done by Brenda, the Argentine lady. She basically tells people, you will probably start to put together words about somewhere about halfway through the conversation. You need to let a conversation go on about 10 or 15 minutes. You hit like the 10 to 15 minute mark and you don't know anything of what they're saying, then you need to, that's when you step in and actively intervene and say, you know, I am a beginner. I need you to slow way down. I missed some of that stuff you've said in the last 5 minutes. You only tell them that. I will send you a copy of that. I have to look at where that video is, but I know which one it is she's talking about and how to listen. And that this is a normal pattern.
Oh, good. That's reassuring.
That is a very normal pattern. Now, I purposely do not play videos that go, you know, unless it's something super, super worthy of spending 15 minutes. 15 minutes is long. It's not that bad when you're at home, but for class time, it's long. 20 minutes. I mean, there's some that go 30. We're not going to spend, you know, 30 minutes on a video. Those definitely, if you were, you know, taking time to figure that out, it would be, you know, you'd have 20 minutes to roll on your computer there. And after about the 10-minute mark, if you didn't understand any of it, it would be time to roll it backwards. Just rewind it and go to the beginning.
So could I just quickly explain how I put together the sentences that are part of our homework? So first of all, and the reason I'm asking you this is how much of this is cheating, and I should know, okay? So I'll write out my sentences. So let's say it's 3 or 4 sentences. I'll write them out in English, okay? Then I will attempt to write it in Spanish. I don't use words, Spanish words that I don't know. So the vocabulary is what I know, but it's kind of like, I think I know, I don't have any idea how to spell it, but I think this is the word. Then I go to Spanish Dick and I pull up the proper spelling, okay? And I go back to my English and I go, okay, is this imperfect or is this preterite? And then I'll go back to the verbs that I you know have attempted to put in Spanish, but I have no idea how to take this verb and put it into preterite or imperfect without looking at a crib sheet. So the things I do are total spelling. I don't use any words that I'm not basically familiar with. I have no idea what the endings are. I go to a crib sheet to take this verb and translate it into imperfect or preterite. Now, how much of that finished product that I send to you is cheating?
Don't answer.
Oui, como se dice? Loaded question. Well, here's what I would suggest. This is what I always tell my students. I suggest you never begin with English to begin with, ever.
Really?
Never start with English.
Really?
Never. No,
Wow.
never. Saying that you only want to work with the verbs you know is okay. What I used to tell kids to do is always start with the infinitive in Spanish. Never, ever, ever start from English. Because when you start from English, well, there are many problems, but the main problem is you start to translate word for word.
Yeah.
And you should stay away from that like pardon the expression, the plague.
Of the pandemic.
Yeah. So in other words, I wouldn't even write anything down. I went, okay, like the whole thing of like, tell your story from a day, right? Just tell what happened in that day. And I'm going to just go completely off the cuff here. I am going to say, I'm going to say, I went to the kitchen. The first thing I did was I went to the kitchen. Okay. Now, is that something I actively did?
Mhm.
Boom.
Yep.
Here's what I would do. I would say, you start with that verb ir, and you just say, I went. Fui. Not I was going. I went to the kitchen. I went to the kitchen and I opened the refrigerator. I would tell people start with, okay, here are the two things and there are two events right next to each other, right? So I did it, right? Start with ir, start with abrir. Now at this point, I would say, it's okay if you want to pull up a chart. You want to pull up a preterite chart. And you say, oh, okay. Fui a la cocina y abrí la nevera. And I opened the fridge. And I would just keep going with that. You know, you could say, wow, it was nice weather outside. Oh, it was nice weather. And so here's where it's going to mess you up if you write that in English. We say it was nice weather. It was comes from to be, right? You don't want that verb at all. So if you write down it was comes from to be. You don't want that. It was nice weather. They use this verb to say the weather was nice. They use hacer. Hace buen tiempo. It's nice weather. So all you're saying now, instead of it is nice weather, hace buen tiempo, is you're saying it was nice weather. And it was nice weather isn't an event. It didn't do. It just was nice. It was nice before I got up. It was nice when I was walking out. It was still nice when I opened the fridge. So I want imperfecto. Imperfecto for hacer, hacía buen tiempo, hacía buen tiempo. And you proceed through like that. I would never, ever, ever start with English.
Uh-huh.
It will lead you down the rabbit hole big time. And it will require, you will be searching for words that you don't want to use.
Okay, yeah.
That is why.
Makes sense, yeah.
It leads us to translate word for word rather in chunks of ideas. So what I think is not cheating is starting with, here's the infinitive. So where I would start with is I would say, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, I went to the kitchen, I opened the fridge, I made coffee, and now I want to say, wow, it was nice weather outside. And then I would want to say, I gave food to the cats. Okay. I want to take that snippet of 5 minutes of my morning. If I want to say all those things, here are the infinitives I need to use. I went to the kitchen, I opened the fridge, I made coffee. It was nice weather. There's the true aberration. I gave food to the cats. Now there's only one thing in there that was imperfecto. It was nice weather. Everything else was something I did. So I just go back and I say, okay, I need to put all those verbs into pretérito. Ir, irregular, fui. Abrir, regular, abrí, right? I made coffee, irregular, hice let's say I don't want to mess with hacer because I know that's a stinking irregular. I could say, oh, instead, here's my workaround. My workaround. I could say instead of I made coffee, I prepared coffee.
Uh-huh.
Because that's a regular verb. And I can do a do around. I can, yeah, circumlocution. A different verb, it gets the same idea across, and it's an easy verb to conjugate. So then I can say, preparé el café. Preparé mi café. Bien? It was nice weather. I need an imperfecto because I'm describing what was going on out there for a long time. It's not marked by a certain number of hours, right? I just do imperfecto with hacer. That one's easy because there's lots of regular in imperfecto. Hacía muy buen tiempo, hacía muy bien, muy buen tiempo. And now I gave food. Okay, that's a little problematic because dar is irregular. Dar does not take AR conjugations. It's a shorty word, D-A-R, dar. So, you know, all I can do is no, I have to memorize it. It's di, diste, dio, dimos, dieron. And they sound like ER-IR verbs, and that is not an ER-IR verb. It's an AR verb, but it's es irregular. Es irregular. No, I can memorizarlo. You just gotta memorize that one. But do you see how I do that?
Oh, yeah, that helps a lot.
Got the idea? Now, I used to have high school kids, and this is when they, well, this was the second year, even in first year, you know, I would tell them, oh, I want you to make a little slideshow. You know, they would go and make slideshow, but, you know, describe your house to me, describe your family to me, tell me about your grandma, your family. And I'd see them writing in English, like, I'd take that paper and throw it away. Oh, you threw my paper away. I don't want you writing in anything in English. Start with the infinitive, put it in the tense you want. Present tense, put it in the past tense.
Yeah, right.
Which past tense? Is it an event? Make it pretérito. Now, if you got to go to a chart, A-okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then build the rest of your vocabulary once you get that down. But always start with the Spanish. Do not start with English.
Aha.
Okay.
Big help.
And, you know, you go back and you say, well, you know, none of those events of I opened the fridge, I gave food to the cats, none of it is I was giving. I mean, if you really did want to say, I was giving food to the cats when one of them vomited, then you gotta, oh, then you gotta too, yeah, ooh. Then what you really mean was I was in the middle of feeding them. I was feeding, everything's going well, they're eating. Oh, that guy over there puked. And that's an interrupting event. We're going to practice that tonight. That's an interrupting event. He wasn't vomiting the whole time, or I wouldn't have been able to spoon out that food. I'd be mopping up behind that guy, right? So that's where, you know, if you truly know you mean I used to or I was doing, you know it's imperfecto. Okay. Daba comida a los gatitos. I was giving food to the cats. Daba comida a los gatitos cuando un gato vomitó. When one of them vomited. Interrupting event. And there it is.
Good.
Bien. Okay. Es buena pregunta. That's a very good question. Okay. Can we step back one bit and just, I want to kind of recoup, reevaluate, look at this again. You know, you have this where you have the two little things that showed these verbs that are main odd things, you know, one tense or another. This was from the Nearpad thing. So you had those kind of odd verbs that mean something different in preterite, that change their meaning in preterite. Yeah.
You do.
This tener being one of the main violators, major violator. If you want to say I had,
Tenía.
90% of the time it's going to be tenía. Because tuve in preterite, tener in preterite carries a special meaning. It means I received something, not I had. Even if you say, well, but I had it for 5 hours. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because once you change tener into pretérito, it changes meaning. And it no longer means I had at all. It means I got something. Something was given to me and I received it. I took it in. Okay. So yeah. These are complicated things. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these examples from the quiz, because you may have questions about them, why they were what they were. Now, the whole first set was set up very deliberately so that it would be time, telling time in the past. And that's like you got no choice. Telling time in the past has to be imperfecto. So that's just a given, okay? And they're all set up to talk about time in some way. And then a second activity, not related to the time. And you've got to decide, about what tense that second verb goes into. So the first one is going to be pretty slam dunk. Second one is not. So it was 1 o'clock when the program started. Well, when the program started, that's got to be a pretérito, right? So we know we need a comenzó. Oh, shoot, I've got 2 comenzós. And it was 1 o'clock, so it's got to be a singular. Era. Got to be that. Era la una, it was 1 o'clock, because all of these are going to be era or eran. Era or eran. That's all they can be for time. They have to be imperfecto. Okay? But that second one, you want to watch what it's talking about. Cuando comenzó el programa, when the program started, and that's definitely an event. Bien? Okay. Vale. It was noon. Okay, it's going to be noon is a singular because it's not saying a number, a plural number of hours. So it's, whoop, it's got to be this or this. It rules this one out right away. Okay. When Sarah served lunch, well, she served lunch. Well, that's kind of over and done, right? So it can't be servía. It was 1 o'clock when she was serving lunch. Well, it could be, but probably not. This is going to be much more natural. It was 1 o'clock when she served lunch, because that event is done. Era mediodía cuando Sara sirvió el almuerzo. Okay. It was 10 o'clock. It's got to be an eran. So automatically, yeah, it can't be that C. It can't be era because I got 10 hours, right? Eran las 10 cuando el empleado abrió la tienda, when the employee opened the store. And there's an event. Okay. Okay. It was midnight. We know it can't be C because I've got a big fat pretérito sitting there. So it's got to be A or B, right? Era medianoche. Era medianoche, medianoche. I know it's 12, but it's not saying 12. It's saying medianoche, midnight. Midnight is a singular thing. Era a medianoche cuando regresamos de la fiesta. Okay, a ver. It was late. Late is not a plural thing. It's just late. So we automatically know it can't be this one, eran, a plural, right? It'll be a or it'll be se. Era muy tarde cuando ustedes se durmieron. It was late when you guys fell asleep. Not when you guys were sleeping. Dormirse no es was sleeping. Dormirse es fell asleep. Dormirse, fall asleep. Okay, un evento. An event. not they were asleep, but fell asleep. You guys fell asleep. Okay. It was early, temprano, temprano. It was early. Oh, we automatically can't, no, it can't be this plural one. That, it's toss it out. It's either a or se, a or se. Era temprano cuando el cartero trajo el correo. When he brought the mail. He brought the mail, it's just an event. Era temprano cuando trajo el correo. Okay, bien. It was 5:15. 5:15. Eran las 5:15. Eran las 5:15. So I know it's got to be either A or B. A or B. When I logged on, and logged on is definitely you did it and it's over, right? So it can't be an aba, because that would be it was going on. Eran las 5:15 cuando inicié la sesión. Bien, okay. A ver, las tres. We've got a plural, so it's either going to be an a or a se, an a or a se. Eran las 3:15, 2:45. Eran las 3:15 cuando you got together. You met up with. Te reuniste, that's an event. Te reuniste con tus amigos. Bien, okay. It was 11 at night. Okay, we know it can't be this pretérito thing hanging out here. It's either going to be a or se, a or se. Oh, it was 11 when the plane landed. Well, that's boom, it happened. We don't want an aba thing. It boom happened. The plane came down, it landed. Eran las 11 de la noche cuando el avión aterrizó. Aterrizó. Bien, okay. Bien.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that was done so that you would just get used to seeing things that refer to time, be it vague or be it very specific. This next one was a little bit tougher. Okay. Llover cuando Beatriz y yo. Oh, volver. Came back, returned. That's an event. So it was doing this for a long time. That means I can rule out not it started to rain. It doesn't say it started to rain. It was raining when Beatriz and I came back. Okay. Llovía cuando volvimos. Here is, it was going on, rain. Oh, we came in. Volvimos. Pretérito. Here's an event that interrupts. A couple of these were tricky, but this one was not super tricky. We'll practice some with pictures. It won't be too tricky. It was called, that's not an event. It just was called. Automatically, automatically I can rule these out. It was called when the Sorayas, all of them, got up. Hacía frío cuando los Soroya se levantaron. Bien. It was clear when you went to the airport. It was clear before I started. It was clear, it was clear. Up, you went. It was so clear. Okay. Estaba despejado cuando tú fuiste. ¿Sí? ¿Entienden? Do you see how this is going?
Yeah.
Bien? Okay.
Yeah, I have to
Can we
think,
segue away from this a bit, or do you have a specific question about some of these?
There was one that had 2 right answers.
Yeah.
Was one that had, because it would kind of depend. I think that was a thunder one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Because I can see where you could interpret that thunder. It could be it was going on for a long time, or it could be that it
Boom
was a
of
big
thunder.
clap.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on your point of view on that one, on what really happened. That one was a little bit nebulous. Yeah. Sometimes weather events can be an event, like it started to rain. That's pretérito. But it was raining. Imperfecto. Because I'm just saying it was going on for, I don't know, a while. I don't specify how long. It's just saying this is what it was doing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to do that after you do a little practice. We're going to do some of this 2 events in 1 sentence after we do our easy practice. Yeah, see? We're going to do our easy practice, which is your pages, just going from present to past. Okay? And I am sorry that those pages did not print like they should have. There's a technique that I tried that did not work, but I will show you what it looks like. We're going to start with pretérito. So we're going to start with this page here. Okay. Voy al banco, recibes un correo electrónico, asking the question, not answering it, asking it. You're moving from presente to pretérito, presente to pretérito. Bien? Okay. So we're going from, por ejemplo, si usar to usé, usaste, usó, usamos, usaron, right?
Sar, which one are you on?
Usar.
Sar?
Ooh,
You mean
I don't know. Oh,
here?
no, I'm just using this as an example.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing on the page.
Yeah.
You're looking, you're diligently looking at your pages.
when you were doing
We're-
that last one,
We're just looking, yeah, we're just looking at, we're just looking at the verbs, regular verbs. So, right, we're going from, llevo una blusa to llevé una blusa, right? We're going just straight to from presente to pretérito, bien? And I'll put you into small groups to do that, just see that you can change the conjugations. Come back, 3 or 4 minutos, maybe 4 or 5 minutes,
See?
3, 4. I mean, maybe 3 is too little. But I just want you to practice just using preterite. Nada más, nothing more. Bien? Okay?
Okay. See.
I will put you into breakout rooms. I think I'm gonna keep this to just 5, because you should just give the whole sentence, but give it in pretérito. A ver, momento.
Is volver.
I need to create my rooms properly. Automatically. Oh, ¿qué pasa? I've got an update pending, which I should have done. Okay. It's gonna make me create new, add a room. Oh, it's gonna make me do this. And okay, bien, let's add another room. Algo más. Ooh, I've got to make sure I keep Juanita and Federico together, because they have to be in the same room. I cannot separate you
As a matter of
guys.
fact, if you can.
That would be a real hocus pocus trick, would it not? Okay. All right. Aquí vamos. Here we go. I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutos. Bien. And you need to hit your join button.
Mhm.
Ok, muy bien. Aquí vienen todos. Here comes everybody. Bien, ok. Bueno, voy a compartirles las respuestas aquí. You're going to see the answers you should have gotten. Fui al banco. Fui al banco. Bien. ¿Recibiste un correo electrónico? No mandé los documentos. No mandé los documentos. No mandé. Mi esposo pagó las cuentas hoy. Mi esposo pagó. Bien. Oí el ruido en la calle. I heard the noise in the street.
Marilyn,
Sí.
can you go through the pronunciations of that in preterite for the different?
Oh, sí, 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 claro, sí.
Because
Okay.
the OI had
Oí.
how to pronounce the OI more than anything.
Oí, oí,
OI.
oí, sí. Fui, I went. Bien. Sí.
No, not fui. The
But just oí.
OI, number
Just oí.
5.
I
Cinco.
heard.
Right.
I heard. Oír is to hear. Escuchar is to listen to.
Mm.
We have 2 different verbs in English, and they've got 2 different verbs in Spanish, right? Escuchar, to listen to. Oír, to hear. And oír is very irregular for yo
Right.
oigo. Oigo, it's one of those go verbs like hago, pongo, vengo, traigo. It's one of those go verbs in presente, in present. But it's perfectly regular. Does a little spelling thing with Y's with some of the forms, but not with this one. Oí, oí, I heard. Oí. Bien. Volvieron. Todos volvieron. Everybody came back. Everybody came back. Volvieron or returned. You know, you can interpret that verb 2 different ways. To return, to come back. Volvieron. Todos volvieron a las 9. Everybody came back at 9. Literally all came back, but we would just say everybody, todos. Todos volvieron. ¿Sí? Entendimos, we understand right now because, or entendemos, we understand becomes entendimos, we understood. We understood, entendimos, right? Entendemos es presente, we understand right now, ahora, pero entendimos, we understood. Mi vecino me ayuda, my neighbor helps me. The me has nothing to do with the person doing the action. The me receives the action of help. So, mi vecino me ayudó, he helped me. The me tells who got the help, not who did the helping. Me ayudó. Veo el edificio, I see the building. B, I saw. I saw the building. Bien. Y les doy galletas a los niños. D, I gave. I gave cookies. Eso es. ¿Ok? Bien. Good so far? Sí, sí. Ok. Vale, magnífico. Let's take a look at this next one. This next one stays very consistent. Just go from presente to imperfecto. Presente to imperfecto, right? Me gusta el helado. Me gustan estos libros. Tengo un plan. Queremos ir al mercado. Vamos al museo cada semana. Puedes entender. Mi tío es amable. Escuchas la canción. Mi hotel está en la calle. Tocamos la guitarra. Bien. All imperfecto. Todo imperfecto. You don't have to think about which one do I do. You just need to do it. Bien. Okay, we'll go back. 5 minutos, 5 minutes again. ¿Está bien? Okay. Vale, magnífico.
Marilyn,
Sí, dime.
I've totally lost you. I am now on some weirdo Zoom page.
Oh my gosh.
So,
We can
yeah,
see
I
you.
don't know. I have no idea what I did. So.
I feel
it-
your pain,
it
Susanna.
wants me to launch a meeting. So anyway, I don't know if I should come out.
You know what? I would say stay there, see if you get a join button.
Oh, okay.
See if it pops up somewhere.
Well, if I don't, I'm
And if
sorry.
you don't, then talk to me.
Okay.
How's
But
that?
we can see you.
Yeah, we
But we can see you and we can hear you.
Yeah,
I-
we can see you and hear you.
I feel your pain.
And you still look really smart with all those books behind you. I feel
You
like
do.
you are, so.
Look,
You look like the people on TV.
No, most of those books are fiction, so it doesn't.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. There we go. And Susanna, if they cannot hear you, see if you get a join button. If you don't see a join button, just hang with me and, we'll practice this.
Okay.
On our own. Okay, here we go. 5 minutos, 5 minutes.
Wait, I do.
Oh,
Ah,
yay! Maravilloso, maravilloso. Okay.
We're back.
Fue fácil o difícil? Was that hard or easy?
Fácil.
Pronouncing those abas. Blah.
Well, okay, yeah, because, and it's got that added thing if it sounds funny to us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, so here's what it should have sounded like, right? Me gustaba el helado. I used to like ice cream. I liked ice cream. Not, I liked this particular cone I had, just, I liked it when I was a kid, right? Me gustaban estos libros. I liked these books. Por ejemplo, cuando era niña, me gustaban las novelas de Nancy Drew. I like Nancy Drew. Me gustaban las novelas de Harry Potter. I used to like the Harry Potter stories. You know, I used to like, right? I liked. Tengo un plan becomes tenía un plan. Tenía un plan. I had a plan. Not I got a plan. I had it. How long? I don't know. I just had it, right? Remember a long time ago, I gave you a list of verbs, like these verbs you're usually going to see in imperfecto. Gustar was on there, querer was on there, tener was on there. Yeah, because often when we talk about these things in the past, if you say I had something, it's just going to be imperfecto most of the time, the vast majority of the time. Tenía un plan. Queremos ir al mercado. We want to go to the market becomes queríamos ir. We wanted to go. Querer most of the time is gonna be imperfecto. I wanted, he wanted, they wanted, did you want, right? Querer in pretérito changes to a very specific meaning, and the meaning is not wanted. If you want to say wanted, it's got to be querer imperfecto. Okay. Now, ir, of course, can be pretérito or imperfecto, but here we know it. We want it to change it to imperfecto. So vamos becomes íbamos. Here's one of the few irregulars in imperfecto, right? Ser, ir, ver. Those are the only three in imperfecto that ever get an irregular meaning or an irregular conjugation, right? An irregular conjugation. Íbamos al museo. We used to go to the museum every week, cada semana. Okay. Podías entender. Could you understand? Were you able to? Poder is one of those verbs that very, very often hangs out there in that imperfecto land. Because if you were asking, did you have the ability? It's poder in imperfecto. Poder en pretérito changes to a very specific meaning of, did you manage to get something done? Did it get done? Did it happen? Or did you fail to make it happen? And we just want to say, did you understand? Were you able to do that? Were you able to understand? Podías entender. Imperfecto. Okay. Mi tío es amable becomes mi tío era amable. My uncle was a nice guy. Amable. Amiable, easygoing, easy to get along with, amable. Era amable. That's how he was all the time. He just was. It's a description. Imperfecto. Escuchas la canción becomes escuchabas la canción. Were you listening to? Not did you listen, were you listening to? We might express that either way in English, right? But escuchabas, were you listening to the song? Escuchabas la canción. And my hotel was, when you're talking about location, estar is usually going to be in imperfecto, right? I mean, it's describing. Something was on this corner, it was in this place. That's a description, really. So mi hotel estaba en esta calle. My hotel was on this street. I'm kind of lost. Where'd it go? It was just on this street, right? Estaba en esta calle. Estaba, it was on the street. Tocábamos la guitarra. We used to play the guitar, or we were playing the guitar. Depende, ¿sí? Okay? Preguntas, any questions on any of these forms or what they mean?
Marilyn, I have just a quick pronunciation question. You
Sí,
were
sí,
talking
Susana, sí.
about oír
Mhm.
before when you said oí, and then
Oí.
it's oíste, and then oy, how do you pronounce that?
Sí, bien. Okay. Oír is a little odd, and it's a little odd because it gets a spelling change, but only in two conjugations, and you'll see why. The spelling change happens because too many vowels.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see why. Because we start with this thing, oír. Okay, and that's, well, you right away know that's a weird looking verb. I take away the IR, I've got the letter O left. That's not much to hang on to, is it? So, okay. But for pretérito, the way you pronounce it is 100% regular.
Mm.
The way you spell it in two of them is not regular, and you'll see why. So it's oí, I heard, oímos, we heard, oíste, you heard, or you want to ask a question, hey, did you hear that? Perdón. Oísteis, okay, you're not going to hear that because that's vosotros. Now, here comes the part, it's going to sound normal, but it gets a funny spelling change. Oyó. Okay. And you're probably going to be able to guess why it does that. And oyeron.
Oh.
Because if I did the io, it would look like this. Oyo, oyo.
Write that better.
Well, but what happens with that E sound, when you're sliding that E sound, and when you slide it, it just naturally becomes oyo. And the way you really spell that is that slidey sound of the Y, oyo. And you also don't want it to look like this. Oyeron. that
Look good to me.
okay, well, yes. Spanish only, the only way you wind up getting a lot of vowels, like the only way you wind up with 3 vowels in a row in Spanish are very, very limited situations. And you want, that's often when some of these spelling changes occur, because what happens is, you know, you have all these vowel sounds sliding together. So the way they spell that, it is considered a spelling change and not really an irregular in the way that, you know, tuve, tuviste, tuvo is irregular because you're not changing massive numbers of consonants and vowels. You're only changing one thing because your vowel does a sliding sound. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Oye. Okay, bien, vale, good.
Good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, preterite in Spanish is just the stinkiest, hardest thing to do. It's just hard, es difícil, it's always hard. I want us to practice with some of these things, and some of these pictures are gonna be left over for homework. But it's gonna be open answer. It's gonna be interpret. You're gonna see what we're gonna do. Es divertido. It's kind of fun. Ooh. Okay. Bien. Here's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at some pictures. These are going to be pictorial. Bien. Oh, estamos en la playa. Oh, wait, that's way too far. We want this one, este. This one. Este. We want this guy. And I haven't decided if I'm going to give it to you here or I might put it in a Nearpod so that you can have one picture for each page. Okay, if we looked at the scene, es un club. Aquí tenemos un club. Un club, una discoteca. Una discoteca, un club. Para bailar, para escuchar la música, todo eso. But you know, if you were describing to somebody what you did, you went out dancing with friends, right? And you want to describe what you did that night, you might say that we were listening to music when they turned on the lights.
Okay.
Yeah, see? So we're all going to see things, and you could interpret this picture differently than I could. You know, I might say, what would be some easy verbs you could use? Ooh, escuchar, and turn on, or put on, or what else could we say? That we were,
Beber.
oh, yeah. Beber, drinking?
Sí.
Okay, bien. We could say we were drinking when the song started.
Ah, okay.
Now, how would you interpret that? We were drinking is
Imperfect? Imperfecto?
¿Cómo se dice we were drinking? Start with beber. We were drinking.
Bebimos.
Bebimos says we drank.
No.
Bebamos.
Bebíamos.
Bebíamos, yeah.
Okay, bebíamos. And now we want to insert a cuando, when. We were drinking when when the music started.
Cuando la música, I don't know what started is.
Started, ¿cómo se dice started?
Empezó.
Empezó. Empezó.
Empezar, yes.
Bebíamos cuando la música empezó. Now, one of those is a definite interrupting, and the music started is an interrupting, right? And by the way, when they say this in Spanish, they may invert the word order after cuando. So don't be surprised if somebody says it as bebíamos cuando empezó la música. When began the music. With cuando, it is very frequent for the order of the subject and the verb to flip. But either would be understandable. But that was probably what would come out more naturally. Okay. Okay. And I see some people turning, they've got their phones on.
Wow. Oh, recording.
Oh, they're recording stuff. Grabar. Uy, ay, a ver. I should be able to get this in a little box, but for some reason it's not letting me do this in the box. Grabar. I'm going to make my picture a little bit smaller. Okay. A ver. Eventually I ought to get a cursor here. Grabar. Well, grabar. You can hear the verb grabar, right?
I see
grabar. See?
Yeah,
Okay.
tiny little G. Yes.
Oh,
yeah, grabar. Oh, tiny little G's.
Now it's a T.
Now they're big. Grabar means to record something, right? Okay. How about we were dancing when he recorded this. We were dancing when he recorded this. We were dancing.
I'd say they were both in
Bailar. So
Bailábamos.
Bailábamos. Bailábamos cuando mi amigo.
Cuando mío. Grababa.
Watch.
grabó.
Grabó. ¿Por qué? Why? Bailábamos cuando él grabó la discoteca, when he recorded the discotheque. Okay?
Oh, I was going to go grababa en el teléfono móvil.
Okay, sí, en el celular.
Sí.
En el celular, sí, tienes razón. You are right about that. Now, you could say bailábamos, but then I would probably say mientras él grababa. We were dancing while he was recording. Two of them going on at the same time, right? So if you want to say both are going on at the same time, both are imperfecto, you want that word mientras. That means while. And that means the two things are going on concurrently. They're both imperfecto. But if I choose not to use mientras, if I choose to use cuando, I am signaling that something else is coming in and happening in the middle. And probably it's an event. I guess it depends, but we were dancing when he recorded this. He recorded as more of a finite thing. The dancing was going on, and now he turned on his celular, right? Correcto, no? Bien? Okay, so there are all kinds, there's no wrong thing you could say about it, really. But, you could pick definitely verbs that you know. Ok, aquí tenemos un dibujo de un parque. Hay mucha gente en la parque. Hay mucha gente en la parque. Bien, okay. We want to pick a background event. And we want to say maybe we were eating or we were having a picnic. And what can we pick as an interrupting event?
Airplane flew over?
El avión.
When the plane flew over, yeah. Now there's something that definitely happened, right? The plane didn't take 30 minutes to fly over, but we might have been sitting there easily for 30 minutes, right? While, yeah, when all this was going on. So we might say, ellos, I don't know if it's gonna let me type. It's not letting me type. Okay. Ellos hacían, los dos, los novios, the boyfriend and girlfriend. Los novios hacían un picnic. Los novios comían.
Eating.
Cuando voló el avión. Cuando voló el avión. When the plane flew. Sobre todos, right? Over everybody. Bien? Okay. You could even say we were eating when the kid took out the kite.
Okay.
Or they were eating. Ellos comían cuando el niño sacó la cometa. Cometa is not cometa. Cometa is kite. Sacó, he took out, sacó la cometa. Bien? ¿Vale? So there are a number of things you can say with these, right? Sí, depende. Depende. We could look at this. Perdón. We could say he was scuba diving. He was swimming.
Snorkeling.
He was snorkeling.
That's a little snorkel.
When what could be an interrupting?
A fish swam by.
A fish swam by. Or he saw a fish. Is it pretty obvious which one's going to be pretérito and which one's going to be imperfecto?
Swimming.
Yeah. Let's make it easy. Let's say we know we have to use nadar. He was swimming.
She fell in. Swimming.
We're gonna use nadar.
Nadar.
Nado? No, that's not right.
No, nado is over with.
Nadaba.
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 Nadaba cuando. Nadaba cuando. He was swimming when, oh, he saw a fish.
El
Un pez?
LV.
B, B is I saw, so you're almost
they-
there.
Yeah. It's an
Vio-
irregular though, right?
Sí, pero no tanto, not so much as you think. They classify it. Viste. It's just ver. Take away the ER from ver, and you got that left.
Bio pesque.
Vio.
Via. Okay.
Vio el pez. Cuando vio, él nadaba cuando vio el pez. Él nadaba cuando vio el pez.
Mhm.
We could say, she was sitting there on the boat. Ella se sentaba en el barco. Ella se sentaba en el barco. Right?
Mhm.
She's got,
see?
it looks like she's got, I want to call it a kite, but I know that's not a glider, like a hang glider thing.
Oh, she might have one of those. But now she's just sitting. She was
That's the
sitting
cover of the
around.
boat, and she's covering
sitting
the sun,
around.
covering her eyes from the sun.
There you go.
Ah.
See?
There you go.
Oh, she was sitting when she put on her
Glass.
glasses. She was just sitting there when she put on her sunglasses. Which one of those is a long time going on, and which one is an action?
The sitting is
Sitting is
The sitting is
Imperfecto.
imperfecto, and then she put on her sunglasses is
And the
pretérito, right? So, ella se sentaba en el barco. She was sitting on the boat. And now we got a hard one because it's poner, and it's ponerse.
Cuando.
Oh, irregular. And that's the puse cat.
Cuando se puso.
Cuando se puso las gafas de sol. Ella se sentaba en el barco. She was sitting on the boat. Cuando se puso las gafas de sol. Bien?
Marilyn, if you wanted to say she was sitting on the boat when the boy swam past her, what would you use for the past her?
Cuando nadó enfrente de ella.
Oh, okay. Fine.
You could even use it, pasó por ella. He passed by in front of her. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of those
thank you.
tricky preposition
Okay.
things. Sí. Claro que es. Okay. Bien. Okay. The boat was in the water.
El barco.
When he
estaba-
swam.
Oh. El barco estaba en la agua.
El barco estaba en el agua.
Cuando, what did you say?
When he went into the water. Entrar. Let's use entrar. Entrar when he went into the water. Entrar.
Entró.
Entró en. Cuando entró en el agua. Bien. Okay. Bien. Vale.
Sí.
You know, if you went back to this, you could say they were eating when the kids skated by. Ellos comían cuando, and patinar is to skate, patinar. Los novios comían el almuerzo cuando los niños, patinar becomes,
Patino.
patino is one of them.
Aron.
Patinaron. Cuando patinaron los niños. Los novios comían el almuerzo cuando patinaron los niños. Bien. You could say, well, you could say any number of things, but I'll leave some of those more to you. Okay. What I'm going to have you guys do is you'll look at different pictures like this, como esta o ese dibujo, este foto o esta foto, como esta foto, como por ejemplo, esta foto o esta foto de una familia y jóvenes aquí y un hombre en un ATV, sí, un camión de algún tipo. And you're going to get to just take at least 4 of them, cuatro. Pick 4. Maybe you want to throw one picture out. Maybe you don't like one of those pictures. Throw one out. I don't like that picture. You know, a mí no me gusta. And find a background activity and an interrupting event. Okay. And I think I'm going to try to set it up on your pod, but because that would be easier for you to do it. So you can kind of do a post-it kind of thing. I'll see whatever is the easiest way for me to post that. I have to figure out where it will allow me to incorporate a picture and allow you to just type in an answer easily. Yeah. I do not have more tiempo, el tiempo entre costuras to give you because that was el fin, that was the end. Fue el fin, that was the end. But we may talk about a little bit and take questions on the next episodio of Destinos. This last episodio was much more of a cultural thing. You know, they talked about what is typical stuff for Argentina, cultural things about Argentina, cultural places that tourists would go to. It's going to get into a little more action stuff. So I will probably, and even if you haven't watched Destinos, you can just watch that one episode and you'll get to know the characters' names super fast. It's not a big deal. We'll talk a little bit about what happened. We'll take conversation time to talk about what happened in the movie. In that next segment that's coming up, I think it'll be 18, 18, it'll be 18. See, está bien. And that's Thanksgiving weekend. Even if you're not having company, you're cooking something. Yeah? Sí. Van a cocinar, claro. Van a cocinar algo. Van a cocinar una comida más pequeña. You'll be doing a smaller meal, probably. Pero van a cocinar. Entonces no voy a crear un montón de trabajo. I'm not going to create a ton of work. I'll give you destinos to watch. I want you to pick about 4 pictures. And you know what? If you don't feel comfortable with doing past tense, pick 4 pictures and talk about what they are doing in presente. Anything to practice. No importa, ¿bien?
Sí.
Okay. Vale, magnífico. ¿Tienen preguntas? Do you have any questions? ¿Sí o no?
I just have a very, very simple micro question. Is that legitimate?
Any question is legitimate.
So I wrote one of my sentences that you corrected, and that was La semana pasada yo escribí algo en los documentos.
I rated something in the documents.
And I did not put in EN. I just put, last week I wrote some documents.
It's because of that algo.
Yeah. And so
you could say, escribí los documentos. Escribí los documentos. I wrote the documents. But once you inject that word algo, it means something. Algo es something. So now you were not just saying I was writing the documents out. I was writing something, the documents.
Okay. Got it.
We need to tweak that a little bit if you're going to insert that word algo. You could have just left it, escribir los documentos. I wrote the documents. That would be fine.
And if I wanted to say, I wrote some documents.
Unos?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Unos documentos, that works. There's another word that works. Unos
Algunos?
is fine. Algunos.
Oh, that's
It's
what.
almost algo. Now I
I
see where
got
you
it.
were going. Okay.
Got
Algunos. There in the chat box. There it is. Algunos. Algunos documentos. Algunos means some, but not something.
I got it. I got it. Got it.
Fácil. How easy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay. But see, those two words are so related, aren't they? But we use them in different situations. Algo is a real specific something,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
And algunos, some, a certain quantity, an indefinite quantity, but kind of a lot. Yeah, see?
Thank you.
Magnifico, de nada. Okay.
Is there
Okay,
a
vale.
class next week? Is there a class next
We
Wednesday?
do have class next week. My Thursday class does not meet because that is Thanksgiving, but we
I
do
think
meet.
the
Are
schedule
we
says
meeting
we
the night
don't.
before Thanksgiving?
No, the
Um,
schedule says we don't.
Oh, it says
Yeah.
we don't?
I thought I saw on the 25th we were off.
You're right, it does say we don't.
Oh,
Wait, momento. Hoy es el 18. Oh, right. We don't meet next week.
I do
I do see that
in
on
the morning, but I assume the afternoon.
because I see December 2nd. Well, you know what? Maybe you want to ponder that.
I won't come.
I'll be available. I'm not
If you
doing
want
any-
to, great. If you don't,
I'll be
also
available. Yeah.
great. You know what? I will go with whatever the consensus is. Sleep on it, ponder it, see what you got going on. You're right. Wow, they've only got one class formally listed for me next week. Yeah, just my Monday class. You know what? Email me sometime decide by Monday, guys. Decide by Monday. Just send me an email, yes class or no class. And you don't need to explain to me. If you don't want to, I know it's because you got stuff going on. They just won't pay me. No importa, doesn't matter. But if I get a majority of you saying, yes, let's have class, we'll do Zoom. And if the majority of you says no, and even if you say yes, but some of you don't want to, I will understand that. That's okay. But, if I only get 2 people saying yes, then I'll probably say we won't do class. Bien? ¿Está bien?
Está bien.
Okay, magnífico. And thank you. Gracias por mirar el horario. Thank you for looking at that schedule.
Oh,
'Cause
that reminds me.
sometimes-
that There are written books out. There are written booklets. I picked one up at the senior center today.
For Scottsdale.
Yellow?
Yes.
Really?
I think you have at least 4 classes listed.
Yes.
And then another Spanish teacher. There's a lot of Spanish classes.
Yes. Wow. Well, yeah, because there's a different facility.